Again.
Yes. Okay.
Perfect. So welcome to M2M. So now we are really into the flow. So I'm Annalisa. I'm here today at AGC Biologics at the offices in Heidelberg. And we can see the facility, the production facility through the window in front of us. I'm here with Christoph, is Senior Vice President Business Development. Thank you for accepting our invitation. And tell us a bit more about you.
Yeah, thank you for having me here today. My name is Christoph Winterhalter. I'm heading business development at AGC Biologics for Europe since 5 years. I'm with the company when the name changed also to AGC Biologics, and we can come to that later. Before that, I was heading business development at Rentschler Biopharma, also pretty well-known CDMO. So I'm pretty long time now in CDMO industries. And before that, about 18 years with Wacker Chemie, also pretty well-known German chemical company in the biotech area, and was also staying like 3 years as an expat in the States for Wacker. I'm holding a PhD of microbiology from the university in Munich, and yeah, I'm happy to be here today and talk a little bit about AGC Biologics.
Yeah, thank you very much for accepting our invitation. You cannot escape our icebreaker question. We brought here for you to choose M&Ms or gummy bears. So you can keep one of those. Which one do you prefer? Which type are you?
I would prefer the M&Ms.
Okay. Perfect.
I'm very much into M&Ms, to be honest.
Perfect. I also would have chosen that. And you can keep it here or take with you actually. And
Thank you.
Think about the interview that we are having here today. Perfect. So our interview, our M2M, starts always with a short history about the company. We had some startups, so the story was very short. Today we have a complex company. I know that there were some acquisition, merging in the past. So if you want to tell us a bit more about that, when was it founded, how it developed, this will help us definitely understanding AGC Biologics.
Yeah, the site goes back a long time. So the site was kind of founded as a spin-off from the university here in Heidelberg by Professor Sommer in the 80s already. And then it went through several acquisitions. It was also a bio-reliance manufacturing GmbH for some time as part of Invitrogen Europe. But then I think a very important milestone in the history of that facility was when Thomas Pulter did a management buyout from Invitrogen and started here really a very professional CDMO business based on microbial systems in 2006. And that was, I would say, really where Biomiva became pretty, I would say, famous also in the CDMO segment of microbial manufacturing of biopharmaceuticals. And then finally in 2016, AGC Bioscience acquired Biomiva, and then finally reintegrated everything in 2018. And we had another acquisition, the CMC Biologics, and all those 3 companies, AGC Bioscience, CMC Biologics, and then the Biomiva in Heidelberg merged into AGC Biologics, which is now the brand we are carrying since 5 years.
Yeah, perfect. And maybe as an interesting fact, so actually Biomiva was also one of the founders of BioRN. So in the 1996, when the region, so the triangle region of Heidelberg, Ludwigshafen, and Mannheim won one of the BMBF competition here to establish the bioregion, Biomiva, together with other players, I think I've said BASF at the time, EMBL and so on, the city of Heidelberg, they got together and founded the cluster. So very happy that first of all, AGC Biologics is still a member of the cluster that was funded actually from one of the parts of AGC Biologics. So now we also understand a bit how the name came together. So it was taken from different companies during the merge. So complex story, long story. Today, what is the mission of the company today?
The mission is, of course, still provide first-in-class services as a CDMO, which is like custom development and manufacturing organization. So we are 100% service company, no own biopharmaceuticals in development, 100% service-oriented. And the main focus still is microbial platforms for biopharmaceuticals, which can be E. coli, is very well known, but it can also be Pichia yeast system, or it can also be Pseudomonas or Bacillus, so different systems. And then, of course, we have also new modalities starting from microbial platforms. We can also talk about those like plasmid DNA, and then finally the mRNA coming up. That is what we are providing, but I think the core and the really expertise and competence is mainly the microbial manufacturing of biopharmaceuticals here for customers.
Okay, perfect. And through the years, I mean, you already talked a bit about that, but what changed? Did something change radically, or the core of the services remain the same?
The core of the services remained the same. I think that I would confirm that, but of course the company was growing significantly. We kind of tripled the sales, and of course also tripled the employees here. Heidelberg has currently 160 employees, and that was significantly grown. We added a new QC center, quality and control center, warehousing, and so on. And of course, new modalities, a new manufacturing line. So that is also what changed, but ultimately still, I would say, leveraging a lot the 25 plus years experience in biopharmaceutical manufacturing on microbial platforms.
Okay, perfect. So I would like also to remind to the one that are following our live streaming that you can post in the chat questions for Christoph. We will have a few minutes at the end to address those. And I will read them to Christoph if you type them into the chat. So you brought also something with you, a small video, but before putting the images to the words, maybe if you would give us an appetizer about AGC Biologics, really now, today, what is your unique selling point? What are the key services? How would you say that?
The key services of the company is, of course, Heidelberg is one foothold and one center of excellence of the network. But in the meantime, AGC Biologics has 7 CDMO sites globally. So it's really now an integrated part in our global services. And apart from the microbial services and the plasmid DNA and mRNA services in Heidelberg, we, of course, offer globally also then mammalian platforms and viral vector platforms for cell and gene services, also cell therapy services. So that is, I think, one unique selling proposition is really the broad variety of modalities. The second pillar is definitely the global footprint of also commercially approved sites. And the third one is still that we are very approachable, very customer-centric, despite the size, despite having like 2,500 employees globally now. At AGC Biologics, we're very, very customer-centric, taking care and build teams and really try to move the project together with the customer towards clinic and towards market.
Okay, perfect. So we had a short description. We have heard also about the different sites, but today the small video that we see is about Heidelberg. And online there are also other image videos. So if you are interested to look inside the other sites, you can do that as well, but today we will have a look into Heidelberg AGC Biologics. Okay, very nice. Thank you for bringing this image film. So we have seen bioreactors, we have seen something like GMP, according GMP production and so on. So tell us a bit more. So what happens there in the video that we have seen?
Yeah, good point. I mean, customers approach us, of course, with very unique formats, right? So typically microbial formats are antibody fragments, for example, or recombinant vaccines, also enzymes for enzyme replacements of orphan diseases and so on. And ultimately, of course, everyone comes with a different format, with a different new molecule, with a very unique, innovative molecule. And the main, I would say, job for a CDMO is really to do the development of a process, to also have, I would say, the upstream part, the fermentation part optimized in optimal yields, commercial viable yields. And then also the downstream part is always customized with 3 to 4 chromatography columns. I would say there's a lot of expertise necessary to design that for every single molecule from scratch. And then last but not least, of course, all the analytics have to happen in parallel, and all the analytical methods have to be established. That is a very also intensive science part, really, with experts, scientific experts, to really develop those analytical methods in due time. And also everything is kind of driven by time to market, time to clinic. And that is, I think, the unique selling point here, that we go from a very small scale concept to a commercially viable process with all the analytics surrounding it for release.
Yeah, okay. And your partner, your customers, so you were just talking, so it's someone that needs to develop, who are they? So can you give us, not the names, but like which category?
We have everything here in Heidelberg as customers. We have large pharma here. We have also mid-sized biotechs, which is really a significant segment in the meantime. And we have also founders with really sometimes 2 men on the laptop, financing behind, and very good ideas. And we help them, of course, really with their complete outsourced model to get material for the clinic and the GMP, and help them also get into the clinical phases. We don't do clinical trials, but we support everything from, I would say, the gene to the drug substance in GMP, and ultimately also then filing dossiers and so on. Okay,
perfect. So we can go even a bit more into detail. You mentioned already plasmid DNA. So tell us a bit more, so how you are able to provide this service. So yeah.
Plasmid DNA, I think, was seeing a very big uptake now in the past years. The Heidelberg facility was already producing plasmid, like I would say 10 years ago, for a cattle vaccine for a large veterinary customer. And this is how we got into plasmids. But at that time, plasmids were kind of a niche. In the meantime, plasmids are starting material for mRNA. As we all know, plasmids are starting materials for all the viral vectors. So the plasmid DNA world was really increasing a lot. The market increased a lot, demand increased a lot. And we developed here a freedom to operate platform. So we can really take a plasmid in, or even a gene of interest of a customer, and can really put it into our platform, where it's already an established upstream part, purification part, and all the analytics surrounding are already preset. And we can get plasmids to customers in different quantities, different qualities, from high quality all the way to GMP, but also from several hundred milligrams to several hundred grams. We can scale that and provide those services for the different markets.
Okay, perfect. And what is up new here in Heidelberg for the future? Do you have some plans?
Well,
new modalities?
Yes, the logical plan, of course, almost is after the big success in the COVID time with the mRNA vaccines, also to provide mRNA. And we are gearing up currently as we speak. We have a new line opening up and qualifying now with the authorities. And we were already providing, for example, plasmid DNA for BioNTech for the vaccines, and I think the logical step is then to go with the linearized plasmid into mRNA manufacturing. So that is currently happening, that we have an extension of our value chain from plasmid DNA all the way to mRNA, and we are gearing up here. And then I think Heidelberg will be the center of excellence for microbial, plasmid DNA, and mRNA really in the network of AGC Biologics. On microbial, we have also larger scales on other sites, but definitely for plasmid DNA and mRNA, this is the site where we really offer that as a center of excellence.
Okay, perfect. So maybe just also to connect a bit to our activities, we will have our annual conference at the end of September, the 29th. Reminding also who is listening to register for the conference for the members for free about cell and gene therapy. So we were talking earlier about that. So it's not the strength or the production side is not here in Heidelberg, but you can also support the customer in the field. Would you like to maybe comment on that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we acquired in 2020 a company called Molmed in Milan, and this company was I would say also 25 plus years in the field already of viral vector manufacturing. So lentiviral vectors, adeno-associated vectors, retroviral vectors, which are used then either for gene therapy as adenoviral vectors, adeno-associated vectors, or we have also then the cell therapy options on site. So we can do CAR T cells or NK cells for biopharmaceutical drugs in development. In addition to that, we also bought from Novartis a Longmont site in Colorado, which is then kind of mirroring the concept on the different continent. Also, I would say giving even European customers the ability to have a manufacturing site in Europe and in the States. And ultimately, it all starts again from plasmid, and that starts here in Heidelberg.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you. We go a bit to the next topic. So I think here we got a very nice overview, what is strong in Heidelberg, but what is generally the offer of the AGC. So talking about the offer and talking about BioRN as a network. So how can you help other members? So what can you offer them? Why they should come to AGC Biologics?
Yeah, as mentioned, I think we can really offer world-class CDMO services for customers or for members which are in development of biopharmaceuticals or other modalities, right? Like we discussed, a very broad offering from microbial, mammalian, and mRNA, pDNA, viral vectors, and so on. So we can leverage the whole network, not only Heidelberg with AGC Biologics, and I'm more than happy also, especially to guide I would say startup companies in that field with a lot of experience. We have seen, of course, a lot of projects. We are having 100 plus projects globally on our sites. So we have a tremendous amount of experience in what is necessary to reach an IND, what is necessary to really get a market approval, and an MAA or BLA, even FDA experience all the way through. So, and then can also help with the dossiers as mentioned. So therefore, I think that is a big expertise members can really tap into and leverage according to their needs they have for their future.
Okay, perfect. And you mentioned before you are also very much user-centric. So I believe AGC Biologics can also take something. So it's not only offering, but learning maybe together. So what are you looking for within the network? So who can help you in the network to even improve?
We are always, of course, looking for new technology platforms, right? I mean, CDMO service is also living from, I would say, state of the art and the forefront of technologies. It's always about commercially viable costs, and costs are kind of associated then with yields and titers and so on. So we are a lot in discussions also with the technology providers. So new cell lines, new approaches, higher titer systems, unique downstream columns, methods, membranes, and so on. So that is also really, we're constantly looking forward to improve our offering, our toolbox, and ultimately then the performance for our clients.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so I hope that who is listening now and will listen also on demand maybe can follow up on that. Again, so we got an overview on the services, on what is unique in the company, how it became AGC Biologics as it is today, and also why you are in this network, what you're looking for, and what you need. So we like always to be close up with more personal insight. Also, you know, we as BioRN, we would like also to portray a bit some figures. So what is a senior vice president business development doing? So what's how your day looks like? Is only meetings? Is only organizing? Is talking to clients? How is it?
The ultimate job, of course, of I would say a business development responsible person is to excite customers, right? To excite customers of our services on all 7 sites globally. And I'm not doing that alone, of course. I have a very competent team. So I think a lot of my time is also going into working closely with the team, coaching the team, trying to, I would say, prospect together with the team for I would say more more projects, more market penetration and all these things. That is really one of the hot topics. Of course, business plans and further expansions is definitely something I'm also very much into. And then ultimately, definitely being in the market. So being on trade shows, being at the customers, and of course, finally hosting also customers who signed up with us really for kickoff meetings, like we have, for example, also one today from the UK. So that is also a big part and an important part of my day.
Okay, thank you. Perfect. And I imagine your day is not only in the office and not only in the meeting. So if you are not in the office, where can we find you?
Yeah, I think I like to be most in the market, right? So I think trade shows are always a great place to be, really to mingle with the customers, with the peers, and with the market participants. And then also ultimately, of course, being at the customer is really important for us. We want to be close to the customer. We want to be really a customer-centric organization. We don't want to take things into AGC and behave like a black box and then just deliver things for IND or for BLA then ultimately. So it's a very, I would say, customer-centric approach all the way starting from business development.
Yeah, very nice. So it means also visiting customers, having customers on site, visiting the facility. Very nice. Perfect. So we are closing up. I would like to thank you for hosting us. Thank you, AGC Biologics, for being one of the founder of BioRN, and today, after 27 years, again, telling the story about that, telling some content. I think we discussed already before a bit. So here in Heidelberg, AGC Biologics is a very important part of the global one. And maybe also the occasion to have even more interaction here in the region, in Germany and in Europe. So our M2M format will take a summer break because we need all that. And we will be back in September. We still do not have a date, but we will communicate that very soon. And thank you again, Christoph. Thank you, AGC Biologics.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great. Bye-bye.
Bye.